Hey guys, good evening. Now let's talk about today deployment. Okay, this deployment is also as a one type of controller, like the previous classes we discussed, right? Like for example, pods, replica set, daemon set, those things we discussed earlier, right? Those kind of things. Now this deployment also one kind of controller. Now this when we go for this, when you use for pods, we don't have a option called as scaling and self healing, right? And we can get it to overcome this replica set. Okay, and if you use the replica set, what is the drawback here? Like for example, and if you want to deploy in your servers like without downtime, then how we do? We can't make it, right? And that we can overcome using the deployment. Without downtime of your application, we are going to be used for the this deployment object. The deployment object will help us for the rollback. If something goes wrong, we can revert it back. If it's something like as a new update become new version going to release, we can go for the this deployment object. How we are going to roll back, how we are going to update, that we can see the hands on that. Okay, this is the mainly for deployment object for like rollback and updates. Okay, rollbacks and update, but we are going to use this replica set for what? For scaling, self-healing purpose. Pods is for basically we're running our application. Let's see, there is a couple of way I've written this. First of all, without deployment, then what are the scenarios, how we are going to be deployed, what is the blue green deployment, we'll do this. All those things we'll discuss first. Then after that we'll go for updates, real updates, okay, and rollbacks. Those we're going to discuss one by one. Let's talk about from the deployment first. Okay, just go for this theoretically. You guys can be read out this all the documentation, like all whatever we discuss the same thing here. For example, let's say I'm just discussing about the diagrams. Okay, let's say your client can be accessed, we are accessing through the service object, and each pod is running our application. If this application are run by the through the replica set or replication controller. Again, replication controller, what is the replica set is? Replication controller is the old way to create objects. Here replica set is the latest. Okay, and both are same purpose. And replication controller, there is some like label selector is there, right? Match labels and all those option is not available earlier. If you want to like as a multiple label selector, you don't have the replica set, will be overcome that. Actually replica set is the latest version compared to the replication controller. Okay, you can use anything, that's fine. Now let's say like couple of like for example, there is a one version is running in your system and there is a new version will be released. Then how we are going to be deployed? There is a different ways we can, like for example, delete all exist pods like as a current running pods, and we can start the new one. That is the one way. And another one is the start new one, and then after a new one will be created, then old one can be deleted. Now when you do this scenario, what is happening in this scenario? We got a some like as a downtime. Okay, that's cool. When now what if you start the new server and you can roll back to the old one, that it will take. Yeah, what is the drawback here? That your system servers maybe huge space is required, right? There's two set of versions you want to run, means there's a huge space is required. This is the two ways we can do the without using deployments. With the deployment object is also not required when you do this kind of scenario. Here the what is the drawback here? The deployment downtime will come the in your deployment time. Like if there is you want to run your application, there is some downtime your application. Now here what happened, there is a lot of resources we need to be take care of here. Here also there is a couple of downtime is there. Small downtime is a huge downtime we have. If you want to overcome that we'll discuss the later on. Okay, now let's say if you have the replica set controller managing by the v1 like as version 1 pods, and maybe new version we want to release, then how we are going to do? Let's say pod like as a old one is running, the new version we are going to deploy, this will come to return here. And what happened, that we need to remove from all the old one here, just we need to run the new one here. Now what happened, it will come to the here short period of downtime will come this when you remove the old one and create a new thing. Okay, that's fine, you don't want to that. And what happened, you want to create the two set of things, old one and new one. Now what happened, there's a we are calling as a blue green deployment, like as a for example old version you are then we can go for here and new version will go for here. And for example old version is not new version is not running, then again we need to set up for the old version based on the label selector and all. That will go for the we are calling as a blue green deployment. Two set of version we are going to run, that will go for any one kind of the particular version, that will call as a blue green deployment. Okay, and the next for example, let's say you don't want to make it for downtime, and for example you want to run the two kind of version updates, like new version will come, the new version also running, old version also running, but all not at a time. Let's say for example, let's different kind of strategies we have. Let's say canary deployment. Canary deployment, what we do, there is a one kind of deployment. Now the entire deployments they won't go for the new version. First they go for percentage. For example, let's say 80% of old version, 20% of new version. Okay, the new version is working fine, it's up and running, that there is no issue for image pulling or accessing application, whatever it could be. Now what happened, the like 20% later, 20% later, 20% later, that we are going to be decreasing, and at the end the new version will be come to the picture. Okay, that's we are calling as a canary deployment. Okay, the blue green deployment, what happened, the entire version, the two set of version will be running here, the v1 and v2, like as which one is working, then we are going to be running here. Then if you are not, v2 is not working, we can immediately switch into the v1, that we are calling the blue green deployment. Okay, now here in this scenario, what happened, if you want to go for rollback update for a particular version will come, then we are going to specify for the, there is a option called as a max search and minimum, like we discussed right last class. I'll show this later. Now there is a, we have an option called as here max search or max available. Max unavailable means what happened here, rolling updates. This option, this feature, what happened, like as we need to at a time, like as a, the new version will come only one, the new version only one come, the one is successfully working fine, then after that we need to go for the another one. Let's another one, for example replicaset 4, it will take for the 4 times, it will one will come up and running, then it's successfully fine, then it will go for creating another one. Okay, like that it will go for the one by one. At the end, the after the we'll get a 3 of your things. Now let's see like this. Let's say for example your v1 v2 we are going to be running here. Now when you do this here replication controller v1, that will v2 will come, then we'll go for v1 later on. This v2 two versions are deployed and v1 will go for down, and at the end the v1 won't get it, the v2 only will come to the picture. This is why we're going to for this the rollback rolling updates. Okay, the update picture will come to the picture here now. Fine. The next, that is for rolling updates here, that we'll do the hands-on, that later on we'll see anyway now. Okay, this is for actually deployment object, like deployment, replica set and pods basically. If you are creating deployment object, what are things will happen, declarating method way managing the pods via replica sets. Provide, these are main important points, provides rollback functionality updates through the control. Updates are managed by through the pod template, okay, hash label, and each iteration creates a unique label that is assigned by both the replica set and the subsequent pods. Now what happened, unique label means, for example the new version and old version, there is a different labels, they are going to be iteration means like as a version 1 and version 2, that is we are calling version 1 is the one iteration and version 2 is the another iteration. Let me show you as a diagram here. Okay, now let's say there is a different kind of recreate. Recreate means all existing pods are killed before the new one will come, that is we are calling as a recreate. Before the, if you don't want to recreate option, then we'll go for the rolling update. The rolling update by default feature, the default features we have this max search and max unavailable is the 25%. We'll show you that also, what is the 25%, how we can make it. This means if you use this option based on your whatever you configure, that based on that you will go for this. Okay, let's see here. What does mean here is max search and max unavailable is, for example when you create the version 1, the 3 version is running, the replica set version 2 is not running, means version 2. And then for example when you create the version 2 here, see here that labels also, the hash label you can see. Okay, now remaining like as all 3 will be running on the, there's a replica set 3 of replica set, that's what we're discussing here now. The new version is not running. Now what happened in this scenario, the 3 replicas are all running, and then one more is running for the new one also. New one also will running. Once it is running up and running, then it will be going to down, then another one will come to the picture. Now what happened, the another one will be come to the here, that is a max search is we make it a 1. Okay, and the next, the third one also will be goes down, like as when it comes to the new version, then third one will goes down here. The entire then instead of old replica, then we'll find out the new replica of the new version here. Okay, then we'll come to the all these things parts with the new version of images here. For something you want to roll back here, then we are going to use the set command and image, and those things will be used, that we'll discuss in the hands-on. Okay, now simply we can see here the diagram, same whatever we have done, again here the small diagram. Let's say v1 is running now, and you are going to new version, we're going to release that 4 parts will be running here. The when you come this v1 v2 is available, then we'll go for another version of v2 here, then this the 4 is running again here, that again will be come to these 2 version here, old one is only one version, then v2 will be spin up here, the v2 also will be running here. Then what happened, the v1 will be deleted, and at the end the final of what are the replica you are specifying, that will come here. Max search max unavailable means this is the version will be going to a 1 create. it won't go more than like as a 25%, like more than that. Okay, and if you want to make it a more, then we can create this. If you want, that means old one you want to make it, you want the new one also we want to make it, that we'll go for the blue-green deployment. But if you don't want to that, we don't want to make it the more space or using your deployment objects and everything, we'll go for this rolling updates here now. That is a max unavailable. We're going to use the options. This is the same what we talked. Okay, let me show. Take this example. Take this example deployment HTML file. Let's see this. Okay, now these are rolling updates here. Rolling update max unavailable, max search is 1. Okay, like means at a time only one they are going to be changing. If you 2 here max search means it will be 2 we're going to be run at a time. Okay, 2 are going to be managed, but make it a 1. That will be good practice. Clear? And then go for deployment object. Like as of now, I'm not taking for any max search and anything here. Just normal deployment object. I'm going to take it here now. Just don't take it. Now let me go for here. Let me see my cluster is running or not. Get nodes. Okay, it's running. Now I'm going to create for this deployment controller, something I'm going to create like YML. I'm going to insert mode and let me show the discussion. Okay, now this deployment object and this metadata is that I'm going to give the name of this application, node app deploy, and this my label name. This label and this label I'm going to matching for when you create it for any application. And remember, this pod template replica set will be managed by these labels. Okay, these 2 labels should be matched. And this is for your container name. This is the images. This image is already available in my GitHub. Docker Hub. Okay, this image is by inside my Docker Hub. Okay, and the ports. This application is running the node ports. Like even this application we saw that, right? The web page which we designed by the HTML, CSS, Node.js code in the Docker sessions, right? The same code, the same image. Clear? And just I'm saving this. Is it clear, guys? Do you have any questions? And replication I'm going to use by the 3 replicas, means 3 objects I'm going to create at a time. This is I'm not using for any rolling updates and any such here. By default, if you're not using, the rolling updates will be applicable. That it will be applied by the 25% for here. Okay, if you did not specify, by default is the max search and max unavailable is the 25%. That we'll see that this time. Okay, I'm going to save this one. I'm going to use kubectl, apply fnf, and then deployment controller.yaml file. Okay, this deployment object. Now kubectl. Let's get this now. Get pods, and even we can specify for the labels if you are going to use like label name. What is the label name I used here? Something app equal to node app, right? Yes. Let's say app equal to node app. Okay, we can like as a filtering out, or else if you're not using this node app like labels, if you can get all the parts here. If you don't want to see, and you can get it for the here. Now get parts in this. Now these 3 is the 3 replicas are running here now. Let's see the replication object. Get parts and see the replicate rs. It will be the 3 is running, and see the deployment object. Deployment object is running, and you can describe now kubectl describe and then describe this deployment object. Describe deployment object. Okay, now we can see this now. Here we can see that is for rolling update strategy. It's a 25% max unavailable, 25% is the max search. Okay, this is for default value. Okay, and say this everything is fine. It will give the complete information about what is the manifest you applied. Okay, what is the labels here, the label names, and which is the namespace is deployed. Okay, when it was deployed, all those things you can see here now. Clear, guys? Clear? This is what we are going to be deploying the deployment object as of now. And let's see the next couple of things. Like for example, this is a version is going to be deploy v1. Okay, and you want to, like, as a new version will come to the picture, the new version you want to deploy. Then how we are going to deploy? Let's see now here. And as of now here, version 1 is what is deployed. The image is version is the v1. Now you want to deploy the v2 version, like something you all got the new version. Then new version will be released, new version will be updated. Then what we do, we are going to use for the set image the deploy object, the deploy object name here, the deploy object name here, and then node web app. That is for what? This is the container name, which is we are going to run in the container name, node web app. And then this is for new version of image I have. What I'm saying, let's go for deploy and controller. I'm going to show like as what is the variables. This is the deployment object name. This is for that like as node app web. Okay. Now see, this node app web is that this container name equal to this image. I'm going to specify that name is this is the container name is this. I'm going to use web app, and then this is the image I'm going to adding in this container. And this node app deploy is that this object name, this deployment object name. And the set image for new version is going to be applied through run on top of running your deployment object. Just I'm going to deploy this now. And meanwhile, before going to deploy this, check this now. kubectl describe here pods, and then here now 3 running, right? I'm going to deploy this. Okay, now see here, this was updated. Now see here, now what happened, it's going to be like 1 is running here now. Okay, the deployment object, and 2 is running now, and 3 is running now. What happened, 1 is going to be terminating here, the old one, and new one is going to be container now here. Let's see, this is a 25%, right? This already running, then another one is trying to running for next one. Okay, now see this. Now see here, now it will running for the, see, all 3 is running now, like one by one, like a latest version. The previous one we can see the object version like a hash code is that this is for the 64. Then after some time it will happen, if everything is running fine, then it will come to the 65 is the latest one, 3 now. Like as one by one, 25% will be changed. One is running, another one will come. One is running, like until unless the new one will come, the old one never go. Okay, the new one will come, the old one is never go. Okay, if something container will be still running, it won't be stop this. It won't be stop your container. Like something your application wrong in this, just we can revert it back immediately. How and all? Because of it will be stored for the states, like as how much states we can store. That is also we can specify the previous versions how much we can. Let's go see this edit for this deployment object. We can use the edit option, kubectl edit deployment object, deploy deployment object, and we can see this now. Come back here. Even another way we can deploy this. Okay, one way is like set image, that option we can use, or else we can use for the, there is option called as here image. Come down, there is some image name right here, this one image. Here we can change directly, we can change and we can save it. Here already v2 is there, if v1 is there, we can change it. Come here, we can change for the here also. Instead of that command, we can use another way of setting for the new version. Let this is okay, like as is another way is what is another way we can set for new version is the kubectl edit command. Okay, and the next, like as if you not done anyway, we are going to run. For example, if you see the rollout status, like for example you don't want to like as this deployment, we can roll out this. If you after setting, just deploy this one. Rollout means it's a deployment. Okay, let's completely, we want to apply this, we can apply this. Okay, roll out this successfully. Now see that edit apply. Okay, I think this is what completely deployed in that version 2 now. This is rollout command will go this, there's a completely deployed in the version 2 now. Okay, check for the deployment status using the, like as this is just using the status for this what happening now, successfully rolled out. Okay, the deployment successfully rolled out. means it will be status, just for checking for status using the rollout status purpose. Okay, status we are going to be check for what the previous one is deployed successfully or not. Okay, the next, if you want, you can describe this one, the image version is going to deploy this or not. Even we already seen this, right? Edit command. If you want to confirm, just confirm the describe, just grab with this image, that will be the new image will be came or not in the describe command, the new version will be came, right? If you want to roll back it, if you, for example, that version is not properly running, you want to roll back it, then how can I use? Then you can use for the same here. For example, you return for some other version is wrong here, anything. Okay, that time we'll go for deployment here. For example, let's say what I'm going to do, I'm going to deploy a new version again, set image, new version I'm going to use, and -1 record. Like what this record will do, this will be record your what are the commands you are executed. Okay, this command will be what are the command you executed, it will be state will be stored. Now what happened, I'm going to deploy for this version one, like as a unwanted image I'm going to deploy. Instead of exited one, I'm going to deploy the unwanted one. This image I don't have. Just I'm going to describe the pods now. Get the pods. Now still like as image error pulling, this error will be got, that still the old one we had, we didn't get. Now there's some this kind of error, the container is not running, you need to roll back here. Now let's see here, when you do this image display, now we have this version is got deployed, this version is got deployed, but this image is showing the error. Okay, the kubectl image deploying, this is the version, and you can describe this. Now it will give the sum of deployment scale of this replica, something what are the we have done, right? That will be showing that thing here. No container is going to throw the error here. Now the container is not going to be deployed, the is not running, means that something is happening for the image is unable to pull this. No, something error image pulling, error image pulling, we got it now. And now what you do, you want to roll back this the v2 version again, v2 version you want to roll back it again. Then what you do, just go for status, what's happening, let's see here. Now see, roll back here. Now waiting for the deployment state, roll out the finish, one of the new replicas have been updated. And the next, go for here history, whatever you roll out history, we can see the history of this. Now first kubectl set, this is what you done the record true, this is what history purpose we are going to use the record option, right? It will can get to know this what is the command we executed here. And then we can undo changes, we can use the rollout undo, like whatever we changes we can undo the changes, rollout the undo, this come to the rollback again. When you use the rollout undo, it will come to the rollback again, the previous, like if you want, you can get it now here. Now this 3 is run, that the old one is gone. And if you can see the images here again back, now what happened, this is the v2 is came to the back again. This will be automatically will roll out from the previous version, instead of 1112, right? Instead of this, it will go to the this v2 version, the previous version which we have. And if you want, you can check the status again, you can check for the status for the deployment object, this is rolled out successfully. Okay, if you want confirmation, check for the images, the image is already running. Okay, when you use this is all the screenshot. And for example, now 3 containers are running, you want to create 4, what do you do? There is a 2 ways. One is that we can go for manifest file and update the like as a like a replica set 3 equal to 4, like as a colon 4, right? We can do that, and we can do for apply. Instead of apply, we can use another way also, like as kubectl scale deployment, this is a replica equal to 4, you can use the through command and here directly. Earlier is the running for the 3 containers, right? Now see the state like as here. Now earlier is the 3 is running, now it was the running the 4 objects now. Okay, and if you want to scale down, this simply is some like as let's say you can get it for this all this running or not, because it's running up, it's give the more information, that's it, like IPs address and all these things, container IPs and all. And if you want to scale down, just simply we can use for the replication 3 now again 3, and you can do for again this 3 again back. It's a scale down. Okay, this scale up or scale in. If you want to do it for entire deployment object, we can use for the kubectl delete and all these things. And if you want to see the UI level, whatever we have done, just I need to go for again, right? Just go for here we have kubectl adm command, right? Where is, take this key, okay, and then go for objects. Now let's go for the public API of this mission, Kubernetes master, key master. Let's go for DNS or IP, your wish, and then for here. Okay. Anyways, is running. It's not running. Just refresh this one. Let's see. The IPs is never changed because of my didn't restart my Kubernetes cluster from last 2 days. Just we refresh this. Let's see the URL will work or not. If it is work, that's fine. The same like as 208 135. Oh, even though this also will go down. Email.com and then dot is missed. And then go for number 3. And then next visit at MFA. Now 1 second, let me see the authenticator. Okay, let me submit this. Let's, I want to show like as a UI, like as how it was deployed and where you can check this, all the stuff. Okay. That means the IP address will change. Now see this. This is for 93. Yeah, the public IP got changed. Let's go for advanced. Accept and risk. We have the key here now. Just copy the key. Take a token. Just enter this. Now see this pods means that is stopped already. Okay, this is for job purpose. Okay, now this is a deployment object, these are jobs, and this is the pods, and this is for replication sets, but we are going to deploy the applications as of now. And this is what just we deployed deployment object, and 3x3 is running as a 50 minutes back. And this is jobs. Let's leave it about this. We'll discuss the later next class. And this is the pods which we deploy right now. Okay, these pods are still running. This is a replica set. Okay, this is a 3 replica set of the deployment pod. And you can see the only deployments. Just go for deployment here. Now see this deployment object which we are deploying. Okay, and see the replica set. It's only for replica set. We just like this. These 3 replica set we deploy. Okay, and the next you can see here now the replication controller stateful set within this state. And the next tomorrow what we're going to discuss, we discuss about the jobs and cron jobs tomorrow class. Okay, here if you different namespace you would apply, then go for select for the different namespaces here. What to like as we just seen that monitoring and test all these things, right? Clear guys? That's all for today deployment session.